It's only words, and words are all I have to tell my story. Which is why the choice of those words becomes very important. Hey, I'm Ravi, a storytelling coach who has trained over 10,000 mid to senior level leaders across companies on the art of storytelling at work. I've also guided 200 plus non-profits on crafting a better pitch, enabling them to secure hundreds of millions of rupees in funding. And I've written a book, a highly rated book on the subject called Story Rules. Despite all this, when I have to convince my 7-year-old daughter at home to do something, none of my techniques work. If you have any ideas, please let me know. But in this video, we explored the most common mistakes people make in word choice and sentence construction when communicating at work. If your ideas are an airplane that has to land in your audience's mind, your words are the rubber that meet the runway. Whether writing an email, a slide headline, a report, a town hall speech, most of us get stuck at the last mile of every narrative, the words. And in choosing the right words, we tend to make 5 common mistakes. Let's go through them in turn. The first mistake, number 1, overused or banal words. Let's say you gifted your technophobe aunt the latest iPhone. After a couple of weeks, you meet her and realize she is only using it for calls and WhatsApp messages. Those good morning forwards are a daily reminder. You fret, such a waste of that A18 chip with 16 core neural engine. Guess what? You may also be significantly underusing a top of the line technology you are lucky to be endowed with, the English language. English enjoys a secret superpower over its counterparts. A lot of near synonyms to express nuanced differences in thoughts or feelings. Author Bill Bryson wrote, "The richness of the English vocabulary and the wealth of available synonyms means that English speakers can often draw shades of distinction unavailable to non-English speakers. English is the only language that has or needs books of synonyms like Roget's Thesaurus." So, the next time you are describing something, avoid cliched generic words like nice, good, bad, amazing, awesome. Instead, use that thesaurus and look for more appropriate, accurate words that best reflect your thoughts. For example, in Amazon's 2017 letter to shareholders, instead of saying, "One thing I love about consumers is that they're never satisfied," Jeff Bezos wrote, "One thing I love about consumers is that they're divinely discontent." Divinely discontent, so much better than never satisfied. Don't settle for dull, boring words when you can choose sharper options to accurately capture your thoughts. The second mistake is repetition. Sometimes a certain word may be the most accurate one for a given context, but may need to be repeated. In such cases, use synonyms for variety. For instance, instead of saying, "The West bet that China would head towards democracy and the market economy," the bet failed. This is what The Economist wrote. "The West bet that China would head towards democracy and the market economy. The gamble failed." The third mistake is the opposite of number 1. Sometimes we tend to use long, complex words when simple ones can do. You might think that the more senior the leader, the more fancy their choice of words. But the reverse is usually true. Secure leaders rarely resort to fancy words when simple ones can do. For example, in the 2018 Berkshire Hathaway shareholder letter, instead of saying, "And if it's okay for the senior leadership to use creative accounting treatment for hiding bad actions, it's easy for subordinates to rationalize similar behavior," Warren Buffett wrote, "And if it's okay for the boss to cheat a little, it's easy for subordinates to rationalize similar behavior." Using simple, though accurate words is not a sign of your lack of vocabulary. It's a sign of confidence in your ideas and empathy for the reader. The fourth mistake is using too many unnecessary words. As Morgan Housel writes, writing is 50% thinking, 5% typing, and 45% deleting the bad parts. Consider this sentence. The easiest way to make your writing as clear as possible is to keep it brief and remove any unnecessary words from your sentences. Phew. Instead, you can just say, to make your writing clear, remove unnecessary words. Now, how do you identify superfluous words in your writing? Here is a simple hack. Write your first draft and then find out the number of words and characters. Then pretend you have a character or a word limit, like maybe you want to post on X or LinkedIn, that is at least 1/3 lesser. You can of course also use your favorite AI tool to knock off excess words, phrases, sometimes entire sentences while retaining the intended meaning. You will have a cleaner message and a happier audience. Finally, the fifth mistake is complex sentence construction. In one of his essays, VC investor Paul Graham refers to an Italian dish called saltimbocca, which means leap into the mouth. He then says his goal while writing might be called salt in testa. The ideas leap into your head and you barely notice the words that got them there. Sentence construction is an underappreciated aspect of writing. Often, our thoughts seem crystal clear in our head, but by the time they land on paper, they've become a muddled mess of subordinate clauses, explanatory brackets, and the passive voice. The solution is surprisingly simple. Use AI tools. Read your work aloud. Writing should have a rhythm, a cadence, a musicality to it. And our ears are masterful at picking up what our eyes cannot perceive. When you hear your words in your own voice, outer, not inner, you intuitively sense what is wrong with that sentence. Maybe that subordinate clause needs to go. Maybe you need to break that long sentence into two. Perhaps the sentence will sound clearer without the passive voice. Perhaps the active voice will make the sentence clearer. Here's William Zinsser. Good writers of prose must be part poet, always listening to what they write. Considerations of sound and rhythm should go into everything you write. If all your sentences move at the same plodding gait, which even you recognize as deadly dull but don't know how to cure, read them aloud. And yes, use your favorite AI tool. They are ridiculously good at simplifying and shortening our sentences. In sum, words are the rubber that meet the runway of your audience's brain. Use them wisely. Choose words that are accurate, varied, simple, and brief, and use them in an easy to understand sentence construction. By the way, this content features in Story Rules, my book on storytelling techniques published by Penguin and available with all major book retailers. Story Rules distills 31 proven storytelling techniques and 300 plus real-world examples into clear frameworks that you can use right away. Click on the link in the description to get a copy. May your story rule.